Hi, welcome back to Tammy's Home Tips. Today we're going to talk about if you should go solar in 2022. Stay tuned. So, why are we talking about solar? Well, as you know, energy costs have been going up significantly across the country and they're going to keep going up. Also, there's a huge environmental impact to the production of energy. So a lot of people are considering how they can take control of power production and have their own solar system. Now, I have been doing extensive research on solar over the past few months. I've put in hours and hours of research, and I thought I'd take this opportunity to share some of that, of what I've learned with you. So to start off with, I want to give you just a brief overview, and at the end I'll tell you if I think solar is worth it or not for you. But first of all, it's good to understand exactly how does solar work. So let's just watch a brief video that just explains how this whole process happens. So how exactly does solar work? Well, it all starts with the sun. As the rays from the sun hit the solar array on your roof, it converts energy from the sun into electricity. But more needs to happen. The current produced is direct current or DC power, and it needs to be converted into alternating current or AC power. That's where the inverter comes in. The inverter then channels the AC current to your home electrical panel. But what happens when the sun goes down? That's when the regular grid kicks in and provides you with electricity overnight or when it's just a gloomy day. But if you overproduce energy during the day, the energy sent to the grid from your solar system will credit back to you. This is called net metering or bidirectional metering. Either way, you are helping reduce your carbon footprint and creating a sustainable solution to energy production. All right, so hopefully that helped you to get kind of a comprehensive overview of how solar works. One of the things that we need to look at and break down when we're looking at solar is the type of systems that you're researching or getting into. Now, you don't want to just go blindly and say, oh, okay, they're probably selling me the best solar system there is out there. Well, there are different levels and different types of systems. And that's what I wanted to go into first, as far as how to research the different components or aspects of the solar system that you're going to be buying. First of all, we need to talk about the panels. Obviously, most people, when they think of a system, they think that the panels is all it's about. And while they are very important, it is one component only. Now, when it comes to the panels, you want to make sure that they are, the latest technology. Don't just go with whatever they give me is fine. Most panels are fine, but you want to make sure that they are up to date, the latest technology, the most efficient if possible. And I would say that the ideal efficiency is anywhere between 85% to 92% over 25 years. Now, when I'm talking about this, you might be wondering what I'm talking about. Well, panels tend to lose their ability to capture energy over the years slightly. And that usually adds up to either a loss of 8% over 25 years or a loss of 15%. Now, obviously, the 8% panels that you're only losing some power over the years are actually more expensive than the ones that lose about 15% of that power over the years. But the price offset is quite a bit more for the 92% ones. So you really want to consider whether or not it's really worth it to invest the extra money into that difference of 7% for that 25 years. So that's one aspect that you can look at when you're investigating the panels. Ask what type of panels they're selling you. Most of them are really good though, and they do their job. The most important thing, however, is the inverters. That's a huge part of your system. And the most basic type of inverter is the central inverter. It involves a string system. So this string, it actually strings all of the panels together and goes to a central inverter, which is like the video that you saw earlier. And that is where the conversion from DC power to AC power happens. The only problem with that system is If one panel is not functioning optimally, then the whole system functions only at the level of that one panel that is not functioning optimally. So if it's shaded, or if it's damaged, or if there's any issue with that particular panel, your whole system suffers. So that's a big issue. Now, the next level up, now again, that system will probably be on the cheaper end. Those are generally the ones that you're going to see advertised, $20,000 and you're in and out the door. Well, those are the cheaper systems. Now, the next level up is this system with the central inverter. However, they apply a optimizer to each of the panels, and this prevents that from happening. So if one of the panels goes out, it doesn't affect the whole system. It will still work at the level of each of the panels, and it will keep the power production up. It still works, and it's really good. The only problem with that is if, again, you have the central inverter, and if that one goes out, then you are possibly not able to use your solar system for anywhere upwards of a month to 2 months before it can be fixed. So again, you're paying your solar bill and you're paying your electric bill for that time period. So that is an issue for a lot of people. This is something that we need to consider. Now, for me, the last option is the best option, and it is the microinverter system. So like it sounds, it is a small inverter. And instead of going to a central inverter where the electricity is converted, it's done at each of the panels. So each panel has its own microinverter that converts the power, and then that power goes directly into the panel. So it's one less thing really that can go wrong, and the failure rate of the microinverters is a lot less than central inverters. So, and even if one microinverter does go bad, it's not the end of the world. It's really easy to fix, and it's, it can be done a lot more expediently, and there's not a huge impact on you. Also, 2022, starting January, Enphase, who is actually the big microinverter producer, has produced a new type of microinverter. Now, this goes kind of along with the whole concept of battery backup, or backup when the system is down, your electrical system is down. This has more to do with that. Now, generally speaking, when the grid goes down, you are not able to use your solar system to power your house in any way, shape, or form. The way that it's set up is that if the grid goes down, everything goes down. So, how can this be dealt with? Well, Enphase has now come up with a new product, this microinverter called the Enphase IQ8A. And what's nice about this one is that they also have a smart switch technology. And during the day, if the power were to go down and the sun is still out, you would have kind of like the smart switch system, and then your own panels would continue to provide critical power to your home. Now, what does that mean, critical power? Well, basically that means basic lights, your refrigerator, just the basics. But that's kind of a big deal. And, if you want to charge your phone during the day, it's, you still have that option to do so. If you want to run something that you need for work or whatever, you still can do that. And that can make a big difference for a lot of people in the end. So a lot of people would feel that this is very, very great because you don't even need the backup battery power for this if it's during daylight sun hours. Now, of course, once the sun goes down, that's not a viable solution anymore. And that is when backup battery power would come in. Now, is backup battery power always the best thing? Well, basically, if you look at the batteries, they are designed to also provide power. Like one battery would probably provide power to critical, essential items in your home, just like the IQ8A does during the day. The only thing is it doesn't last, it's very limited. So many people often have to have several backup batteries installed in their home. Then that's where the cost starts to add up, because each of these battery backup systems per system can actually add up to $10,000 to $15,000 per battery. So if you're considering having backup battery as your backup power, you might also consider taking that money instead and just putting it into a standby generator, like a propane powered one. And then of course there's also the gas one, but consider also your fuel solutions, and like, how are you going to have access to fuel? If you're going to have a propane tank, that's one thing, but if you're going to have to be fueling it with gas, that's a completely other thing. And also, it cannot be done with a portable generator system. Solar can only be integrated with standby generators. So that's another factor. So you want to kind of consider all of these things and decide what's best for you. Would it be better to have a standby generator? Would it be better to have the batteries? Well, that's your determination. But again, the costs might weigh one way or the other based on how you feel is the best and more viable solution for you. Now let's talk about the financing part of it. I just want to put this out there right away. Leasing, if anybody is pushing leasing on you, I would say run for the hills, because leasing is definitely not the best option. You will never own the system. Also, you will never get the tax credit if you want to move. It's a big problem. Now you have to coordinate all of that, and does the new homeowner even want it? It does not add value to your house, whereas if you install a system, it actually adds value to your house. Leasing does not add value. So it's a real issue, and if somebody is pushing this on you, I would say maybe find another company. And finally, you might consider, when it comes to financing, you might consider actually using your HELOC, your home equity line of credit, to finance that system. A lot of times, in order to provide financing to their customers, these companies are having to absorb high dealer fees from their financing companies to provide that financing option to you. And that's absorbed into the cost for the customer, obviously. The company cannot just absorb those costs. So if you can ask them for what their cash price is, and you might work out that it's actually better if you use your HELOC or another option to pay for your solar system. So that might be something that you would discuss with your accountant or your financial advisor to determine which is best for you. And again, I did touch on the tax credit. There is a 26% tax credit at this time. And many people feel that that tax credit is going to be great and they're just going to get this big lump sum of money. And, it's going to be, if it's a $40,000 system, they're going to get $10,000 back. Well, it doesn't really work like that. Basically, what happens is that 26% can be credited towards what you owe for taxes per year. And that can go on for as many years as you want, but they're not going to just get a lump sum for your taxes or as a tax credit. So I hope that this really helps you to get a better idea of how solar works, and if it's really something that's good for you. Do I think it's a good deal? Do I think it's a great thing to do? Yes, I do. I think solar is a great option. And in fact, in some states right now in the United States, they are requiring solar on all new homes. In fact, California and also Florida, and maybe even more, are requiring that to be installed in new home builds now. Little Miss Cranky Pants wants in the video. Well, anyways, this is, all right. So I hope that really helps give you an overview of solar and what you need to know about it. There's a lot to consider, but honestly, if you do your homework, you can really feel confident in the decisions that you make and know that you just got the best system that you could get, and that you're going to own your own power, which is a great thing. So I appreciate your sticking around, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the like button, because that really helps, and hopefully it'll help to get this information out to other people as well. So thanks for stopping by at Tammy's Home Tips. Have a great day.